The seed of change, growing beyond what others think. Jesse sat slumped on the bench outside his school, kicking at a pebble on the ground. His backpack hung loosely from one shoulder, as heavy as his thoughts. "They think they know me," he muttered to himself. His parents, his teachers, even some of his friends, they all saw him as the gamer. The kid who only cared about screens and video games. The kid who never cared about school or helped out at home. What hurt the most was that they didn't see everything. Jesse knew what was right and wrong. Sure, he loved gaming, but it wasn't all he cared about. He'd tried explaining, but their looks said it all. "You'll never change." The way people thought of him made him feel stuck, like he was trapped in a box he couldn't escape. Worse, every time he thought about changing, a part of him resisted. "Why should I bother? They've already made up their minds about me." That afternoon, as Jesse walked home, he wandered into the park, seeking some space to think. Under a big oak tree, he noticed something strange, a tiny, glowing seed lying on the ground. Jesse picked it up. To his surprise, the seed spoke.
"Why the frown, kid?"
it asked, its voice soft yet wise. Jesse blinked. A talking seed? Great. Now I'm officially losing it.
"You're not losing it.
The seed said with a chuckle.
You're just carrying something heavy in your mind. The labels, the frustration, and the stuck feeling. I know what that's like. A seed being buried under heavy soil. I've been there."
"Yes, it doesn't feel great," Jesse sighed.
"It's completely normal to feel stuck when you think someone has labeled you unfairly,"
said the seed.
"It's like feeling the soil pressing down on you, holding you back. But what if I told you the heavy soil could be your friend, not your enemy? Let me break it down for you."
The seed began to glow brighter, and suddenly, Jesse found himself in a vast, magical garden. On one side, rows of plants stretched as far as he could see. On the other, the soil was bare, with no plants or sprouts.
"Let me explain,"
the seed said, floating beside him.
"Being buried under soil feels heavy, doesn't it? That weight you feel, your parents' and teachers' labels, is like soil pressing down on you. But why do you feel stuck?"
Jesse thought for a moment. "Because it feels unfair. Like they don't see the real me. They don't think I can change."
"That's completely valid,"
said the seed.
"You feel hurt because their labels don't match who you are. Defiance because you don't want to prove them right. Fear because you're worried your efforts won't matter, that no one will notice. These feelings are real, but if you let them control you, they'll hold you back."
The seed said, pointing to the barren soil.
"Look at this side. Some seeds choose to stop sprouting because the soil feels too heavy or hard to push through."
Jesse knelt by the soil, running his fingers through it. "But over here, the plants made it," he said, looking at the thriving side of the garden.
"Exactly. The plants didn't wait for the soil to change. They pushed through it. And now the same soil supports them."
Jesse sighed. "So what do I do?"
A seed doesn't grow because the soil gives it permission. It grows because it has the potential within itself to break through.
The magical seed said gently.
Your feelings, hurt, defiance, fear, can actually be the best fertilizer for your growth, if you use them right. Growth starts with you. You don't have to wait for anyone to see you differently to begin to change. It's actually the other way around. Here's how you can think differently. 1. Change for yourself, not others. Remember, you're not changing to prove anyone wrong. You're changing because you want to grow into someone you're proud of. Ask yourself, What small steps can I take today to feel proud of myself? 2. Use the label as fuel. Their labels don't define you. They challenge and can motivate you. Think, if they think I'm just a gamer, I'll surprise them by showing I can be more. Imagine the satisfaction of breaking free from their perceptions to show your own strength. 3. Accept imperfect perceptions. You can't control how quickly others notice your growth, and that's okay. Even if they don't see it yet, you'll know you're growing. That's what matters.
Jessie nodded slowly. So I can start small, like just doing one thing differently?
Absolutely.
The seed said, guiding Jessie to a tiny sprout breaking through the soil.
See this little one? It didn't push through in one day. It took small, consistent actions. You can do the same. Here's how. A. Start small and stay consistent. Pick one habit to work on, just one. Maybe it's ending your game after 1 hour of play on your own, taking breaks to do homework or chores without being asked. Focus on doing it regularly. Instead of telling others you'll change, start acting in a way that speaks for itself. B. Track your personal wins. Keep a journal and write down one thing you did today that made you proud. It doesn't have to be big. Small wins add up. The journal speaks for your efforts and actions, and it proves to you that you can change. Remember, every time you make a small improvement, it's a win for you, not for others. Be patient with yourself and them. Breaking a label takes time. The change isn't just about you. It's also about how your parents and teachers see and adapt to the new version of you. Even if it feels like they're slow to notice, keep doing your best and stick with it. Over time, they'll start to recognize your efforts. D. Communicate openly. If you're ready, share your efforts with your parents. Say, I'm working on balancing things better. I hope you notice. Or, can you give me some time to prove I'm working on balancing things better? I think you'll see a difference. Even if they don't right away, keep going, and I'm sure they will.
Jessie smiled. I think I can do that. As the seed's glow began to fade, Jessie found himself back in the park. The seed was still in his hand, but now it felt warm and full of energy. He walked home with a new thought in his mind. I'm not stuck. I'm a seed in motion. That night, Jessie started with one small change. He finished his homework before picking up his controller. It wasn't much, but it was a small root breaking through the soil. The end.
My dear listener, we all get labeled sometimes. Sarah is just shy, or Ollie never listens. This is a habit of simplifying things. It's the heavy soil that most seeds start with, but remember, people are not always right, and they don't know everything you are capable of. Although you are just a seed right now, every little movement you make, stretching out a tiny root, absorbing a drop of water, is progress. Slowly but surely, you build strength. One day, you push just enough to sprout, breaking through the soil. The same soil that seemed to hold you down now becomes the foundation that supports you. And as you grow taller, you don't just prove the soil wrong. You prove to yourself that you had the strength all along.